Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to start another very exciting reading vlog because as I've shared as I've shared before, I wanna read 5 new to me authors this year, and I want to vlog my experience with all of them. And today we're gonna do the second one. I already done the one for Juliet Murilla where I read The Daughter of the Forest, so if you're interested you can go and check that out. That one was a fun experience, but also the book is so long. So I hope this vlog will be a bit easier to make because it's not quite such a long book. And for this one I want to do Robin Hobb, and I'm going to start off with the first book in her Realm of the Elderlings series, which is Assassin's Apprentice. So that's what I will read for this vlog. I will listen to it as an audiobook. And so far I'm not quite sure when I will continue on with this series, so this will only be the first book. But yeah, I'm very excited to try her writing, because a lot of people love this series so much and I honestly want to be part of that. So I hope this will be a 4 to 5 star read for me. And I have listened to about an hour so far, so I can't really say anything about it yet, but I will probably do updates every quarter of the way. So I will talk to you again when I've listened to about 25%. But basically we follow a character called Fitz. He is the bastard of a prince who is supposed to become king one day, but he doesn't have any children with his actual wife. So people are a bit unsure what to do with Fitz when he's kind of reported as being a bastard. And they then turn him into an assassin, I guess, because of the title of the book. And I think, this is just a massive series where a lot of books follow the character of Fitz. And I think in this first book, we basically focus on his childhood and maybe teenage years. And I'm not always the greatest with child characters, but this book is not told from his childish point of view, but he is looking back on his life. And I think that is a way I can deal with child characters, because we still get the reflections of him being older on what happened when he was a child. So yeah, so far so good. I'll let you know what I think when I've made a little bit of progress. So, I'm sorry I don't look so cute, but I'm more than 25% through Assassin's Apprentice now, and so I thought I'd give a quick update. And I'm so tired. I just came back from work and I will head into my bathroom, take a bath in a second, and I'm so excited to relax and read a little bit. But yeah, quick update. I'm loving the book so far. Absolutely loving it. I think I was really afraid reading this book because we follow Fitz as a male character when he's a child and a teenager. That's usually not the stories I enjoy, but I must say the way it is written, it's fantastic. I am already in love with Fitz. He's such a great character. I feel like he has this connection to animals, which is really lovely to read about, but he's also a very quiet character, and he definitely has some strength, not only in a mental way, but also maybe some magical way, even though we only got a few glimpses of that so far. And I just really enjoy him interacting with the other characters. And yeah, it was so heartbreaking with the dog. I don't want to spoil anything, but if you know, you know. At the beginning, in the first couple of chapters of the book. I just really enjoy it, and the writing is great. I really like that we have a fantastic kind of, what do you call that, a mentor character, because as you can guess from the title, Assassin's Apprentice, Fitz is an apprentice. He's learning to be an assassin from another assassin. And I think, with the media today, we have a very a different perspective on what an assassin is, but this book just takes it a little bit differently and, you know, focuses on this like medieval fantasy setting and creates assassinship in that realm, and I really enjoy that perspective. Now there's a little bird on my balcony looking for food. Oh, they're so cute. Okay, he's gone. So yeah, I really like the dynamic and the kind of teaching aspect of the story. I always love a good mentor, and I'm intrigued to see how that relationship develops. And yeah, there's also like this father figure. There's some really, really beautiful moments between Fitz and that person. It's lovely. I also really like Molly. I'm intrigued to see what her role in all of this will be, like whether she will be just like a recurring like side character that pops up here and there, or whether she will get more important later on. But I did enjoy the glimpses that we got of her. One thing I'm a little bit sad about is that the kind of weapons trainer is a woman, and she's the only teacher we haven't really seen yet. That's just kind of sad, you know, because yeah, so far this book is very male, and probably today women wouldn't write a book like that anymore. And it's just, you know, if you read this from like the gender of the characters, you wouldn't guess that this is written by a woman, because so far all of the characters that are more important are men. So yeah, that's maybe the only thing that's bothering me. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this experience. I'm flying through the audiobook, and I will update you again when I'm halfway through. So I'm now 50% through Assassin's Apprentice. I feel like a lot has happened since the 25% mark. I'm still enjoying myself a lot. I do feel like we're severely lacking female characters in this book, and yeah, that still hasn't changed. We get one female character now where I feel like she's a little bit more important maybe, but I'm not sure. But yeah, we had the first contact with the creatures, I'm gonna call them. That was something I hadn't really heard about before I started reading the book, but then I saw one review that mentioned these like zombie-like creatures that we get in this book. So I thought that was very interesting, but I can totally see why people find this a little bit meandering, because even though this seems like a pretty big deal, for now they seem to be forgotten a little bit again, but I really don't mind. I think this book is a great character study, and I just really like following Fitz, even though I wasn't really sure whether I would, but yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it. I think she is a very interesting character. I think at the point where I'm at right now, he's maybe like 15 or something like that. I don't know. I think his development from like this kid who didn't really talk to this teenager who starts to have like very, I don't know, very smart feelings. He doesn't always understand everything, which I think is quite adorable, but he just feels smart, and he's very like, I don't want to say sensitive, that sounds wrong, but like he's just special in a way. So I'm very, very happy that I enjoy him as a character and that I'm enjoying this book. So yeah, I don't think that there's a ton that I wanted to talk about, because as I said, it's just a character study. You just see this boy growing up. I really like the way that he has these different mentors, and in some ways they're similar and in some ways they're very different. I think Jade is a very interesting character, and we just got confirmed who he is. I think for the reader it is quite obvious in a way, but Fitz was in the dark about it. yeah, I think he's very interesting. I really enjoy the way he's portrayed. I really enjoy the way that being an assassin is portrayed in this book. Yeah, I think it's just overall amazing so far. So, yeah, I don't really have anything negative to say about it or anything like that. I'm just very intrigued to read more now. I think I will get a good chunk of it listened to this week because I'm going, to work and stuff like that, and I listen to it on the bus. So yeah, that should be nice. I'm really looking forward to the rest of this book. So it is time for another update. I'm now 75% through Assassin's Apprentice, and it's so good. It is so good. A lot has happened in these last 25%. I'm always shocked at the things that are happening, and I really feel for these characters. I think that Robin Hobb does a great job at portraying these characters as like fully fleshed human beings that you're rooting for. So I am absolutely in awe of her writing, and yeah, I just love this book. So I think I'm gonna go into a couple of more spoilery bits. They're not like real spoilers, but if you don't want to know anything, I would skip this part and I will mark it in the chapters so you know when I end this spoilery bit. But yeah, first of all, we have the training with Galen, and Galen can honestly go die. Like, he's such a terrible man. He did remind me a little bit of Snape, but for Snape I had some sympathies. Galen is just horrible. So I think he is maybe the son of the queen. I'm not quite sure. There have been some kind of hints as to who he might be and why he is in this position, but he's honestly terrible, and I really enjoyed the kind of exploration of that. And obviously Fitz needs to be saved a couple of times, and I really like the way that was done. And these training sequences were just so horrible to like listen to and to experience with the characters. And I really like the way that it is portrayed, that this technique of training these kids didn't really end up in any valuable result in the end. So yeah, that was done quite well, I think. Apart from that, we have the scene with Burrage where he's attacked. That killed my heart. It was, oh my god, so horrible. Like, poor Fitz to have to experience that and be of no help, basically. Honestly, second dead puppy in this book. Was not prepared for that. And that's one of the things that is bothering me a little bit. Like, I do get it, but it's not fun to read about, guys. And I just lost my cat a couple of months ago, and so reading about all of these dead puppies is not fun. But yeah, I was really afraid for Burrage, and I was surprised, how much I felt for this character, because he can be quite mean. And then we have this whole hospital scene, where yeah, they get into a little bit of a fight, and I'm kind of sad that they stopped talking to each other now. I think that Burrage obviously wants good for Fitz, but he just doesn't understand some things. So it's just really hard to see these two characters, to know that they want the same thing, but they're not talking to each other, they're not listening to each other. It's just heartbreaking. So yeah, I was so shocked and so afraid for Burrage, and now he's okay, but like not okay. So yeah. And then we have the whole deal with Verity. And Verity is a character that I think you start liking from the very beginning. I think his introduction is done really well. And seeing him now in this position that he despises is very interesting. And I really like the way that he is always reminded of his big brother when he looks at Fitz, and the kind of relationship that builds without them having to talk a lot. I think, yeah, that's just something very beautiful, and I really like the way this is explored. I just want him to be okay, but I'm not sure. Like, honestly, I don't want Regal to be the only prince left. He seems like a very bad person as well, and a very bad king. So yeah, we also had Lady Patience. I did think we would get a little bit more of her. I think she's an interesting character, but this book just has this issue that the female characters are not that important. So yeah, we also have Molly, who's now dating that other guy. So she's kind of out of the story now as well, I guess. And that's still something that bothers me. Like, the female characters are very much just the backdrop. As well with the queen that we know a little bit of. We understood what her, like, ideas were, but I still feel like we never really explored her as a character or saw her act on anything. And yeah, so female characters still lacking, but from the like plot point of view and all the intricacies, I absolutely love it. And I think in the end this will probably turn out to be a 4.5-star read for me, just because I can't forgive it the lack of female characters. And I feel like it was probably a very, very good book. It would have been a 5-star if I read it in the 90s. But I was a child back then, so. But for today's standard, I feel like it's not quite up there anymore because of that. And you know, my 5-star reads are usually books that are like absolutely amazing and change my life. I don't think that this will change my life, but it makes me absolutely excited to get into the next books of the series. I don't know when I will continue with this because I have like quite a few reading plans now, but yeah, I don't want this book to end because I don't want to leave these characters. I would love to get into the second book right away, but I probably won't do that. We'll see. So yeah, loving it. And I will keep you updated when I finish the book and I'm not ready. So this is gonna be my last update for Assassin's Apprentice because I finished the book yesterday and I loved it. Now, when I came home yesterday, I had about an hour left, and usually when I'm like, you know, at home, I don't listen to audiobooks anymore when I'm not doing a specific task. But the ending was so crazy that I just could not stop. I just listened to the last hour of that, sitting on my couch, being absolutely captivated. I think that the ending is such a masterpiece. It's so well done. I was so obsessed. And yeah, there's just so much going on. So many twists and turns and characters that you maybe haven't suspected. And yeah, there's just a lot going on. And I think the ending, after finishing the book, I was like, this has to be 5 stars. But there's still a couple of things that, you know, bothered me a little bit, which I talked about before. So I settled on 4.5 stars. So we have room to grow. The next books will probably be 5 stars. We'll see. But yeah, I'm so excited. I will definitely continue on with this series in the future. Not immediately, but probably somewhere in this year. So yeah, I'm so happy. I wanted to love this book. I was very afraid, but I did love it. And that's fantastic. So that's my final verdict. I think I will go a little bit into spoilers now for the end, So if you've read the book, let's just gush about it together. And if you have not, I would highly recommend ending the video here so you don't get spoiled. So yeah, that ending. There were a couple of things that I did see coming, but a lot that I did not see coming. Obviously, Fitz is put into this like really, really horrible situation where he can't really go right. All his choices are wrong. He has the choice to poison someone who shouldn't be poisoned because, you know, it doesn't really make sense for his king and his country. But he can't really deny it either. And I honestly thought that Regal was behind it himself. I was not prepared for it to be Galen. I don't know. I'm still not quite sure whether it made sense that Galen was the one behind it all. I think he is a very interesting character. You hate him from the first page, so I guess it also makes sense. But yeah, and I definitely saw that he was the bastard of the queen. I think that was made quite obvious. So that wasn't the surprising bit. But I thought that Regal used Galen. And then in the end, it seemed like it was more the other way round, which was surprising to me. But what was I talking about? So, yeah, we have this whole like impossible to solve situation for Fitz, and the moment he went to the prince and was like, I'm gonna poison you now, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna go in so many different kinds of wrong. But yeah, I really loved how it all came together in the end, especially also with Nosy. I was so relieved when Nosy lived. At the beginning, when the scene was where Burrage took Nosy away, I was pretty sure that Nosy was still alive. I didn't think Burrage had it in him to kill a dog for Fitz's behavior. But then it just never popped up again, so I was like, okay, maybe he did. Maybe he is that evil person. And then Nosy lived. And also the scene where Fitz tells Burrage that he knows now that Nosy is alive. And the way Burrage understands that for so many years Fitz actually thought he had killed the dog. That was such a scene. There were so many good scenes at the ending right here. I think one thing I especially love about this book is how complex all the male characters are. Obviously, we do have a big lag in female characters in this book, and that's my main gripe with it. But the complexity of all the main characters is phenomenal, and I think you can definitely see that in these complex relationships that Fitz has with these men who are in power, who are much older than him, his mentors, his teachers. I loved his relationship with Verity as well, and the way that all worked out at the end, I was holding my phone that played the audiobook to my chest, and I was like, oh my god, Verity, you gotta survive this. I was really captivated by it all, and I thought, yeah, the characterizations were so well done, and the relationships were so well done in this book. And yeah, the way Nosy at the end, when it was described how he had saved Fitz and then passed away, it was so sad. It was so sad. It broke my little heart. I am still a mess when it comes to animals, even though the death of my cat is like almost 3 months old now. So yeah, she died about 3 months ago. But it's still a very tough topic for me. And so yeah, reading about all of these like animals in books that get harmed is just so hard. So yeah, I was definitely crying. But yeah, it was also so beautiful the way that he kind of got reunited with his master in the end, hopefully. That's at least what I believe in. I believe in a pet heaven where we are just the guests, but the pets are like in heaven. Yeah, it was so good. It was so good. Yeah, I just loved all of it. And I can't wait to get to the second book, because What I really enjoyed about the ending is that it feels very satisfying. It feels like a storyline has ended. So it does kind of stand on its own, but on the other hand, I think that is just the case because this whole marriage poisoning scheming thing, it takes up all of your like energy and attention at the end. But for most of the book, there were completely different storylines, and none of these have been kind of dealt with so far. So the Red Ship Raiders and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that was just so cleverly done, and I loved it. And there is now so much stuff that I still need to read more about that, as I said, I'm very excited to continue the series, but I still had the satisfaction of an ending that did feel like an ending for now. So yeah, absolutely loved it. I'm so glad I finally read this, and I'm also really glad because I got my mom the first trilogy for her birthday, so I think she will like it too. That was a bit of a gamble because I hadn't read the books yet, but now I'm very positive that she will probably like them because yeah, the intrigue is just so good, all the characters amazing, and yeah, really happy right now, if you couldn't tell.